me how it could have happened or what happened or any of those things. All, like, I lived it, I experienced it, and thank God almost every single thing that I've said so far has like a paper trail. So I feel like that's super fair, especially since, their theory is like I'm this big famous person on the internet and I'm just like brainwashing people and making them think things. All I'm doing is sharing the exact same thing I've done for 10 years. Exactly what happens in my life all the time to the limit of what I want to share. And somehow those extra details that I didn't ever share always make it to the internet. The crazy part is people, like, I'll show y'all some stuff that's going on in the receipts or whatever, and y'all will literally message me and be like, Becky, you've never shared that I've watched every story for 10 years, for 12 years, blah, blah, blah. Like, it is so crazy. So it's just mind-blowing to me. Like, even some of the obvious stuff, like if I intentionally said something different and then the right thing was said, or like my paycheck amount. Like, it just blows my mind that the exact same amount that I said that was on my paycheck, I turned over and I looked at him and I said, how much is my weekly paycheck? And he tells me this number. And I've told you all this story before. And it's like this crazy number that you just wouldn't pick out of thin air, okay? Like, it's just not a regular paycheck number. And I remember looking at him and going, wow, that's exactly what the freaking troll blog said. And he goes, ha, ha, ha. Well, now we know anytime he lies, that's the sound he makes. And you're just like, shit. At the end of the day, I think it all boils down to, like, I'm not scared. Okay, I am a little bit. I do every day think something's going to happen to me in the driveway. But that's just because, like, you just don't know how far it's ever going to go, right? But that's like a 10% thing, I guess. I don't know. Anyways, I'm not, like, paranoid about it. I'm just, like, cognitive of it. That's a good word. Okay. I think, too, though, I feel like if I say the truth about everything that's happening to me right now, like the break-in stuff and how coincidental it is that literally the day after I sell, oh God, I don't even know if I should say that out loud. Oh, I just should use that for my golden chip. Yeah. Just these very close things, just, God, see, now I can't, because now I just, shit, hold on. That right there is an example of the connection between me and you guys. It's like I can't even finish my sentence because, like, I was on the path of about to tell you something, and now I don't have anything else in my reserve bank because I was just going to tell you all the truth about something. Okay, so I feel like if I say what's going on, I mean, I guess everybody will know if something happens to me, what happened. But, you just think, like, I don't know. I guess that should be good enough, right? Also, that is so sick that I even have to think about this shit. Like, it is literally disgusting. And I know, and that's just me getting frustrated about it, because I know I am patient and I understand that it'll all come out in the wash. But damn, it's a long cycle. Like, good Lord. I just tell people all the time, like, there better be some freaking rewards for me in heaven, which is a cognitive distortion, my therapist says. To think that there's going to be delayed gifts for you in heaven because shitty stuff happens on earth. But still, it's like you got to have something to look forward to, Okay, so I think the biggest thing that, like, annoys me in all this is I'm doing the exact same thing I've done for over a decade, and that life was so fruitful for these other people, and like me sharing my daily life with you and all the details of it and bawling with you guys over my dad dying and like going through a whole house build and all the drunk cornhole nights on the patio before that, like everything was so okay to share then because people were benefiting from it. And I think it took me a long time to realize, not to realize the truth because you do know it, but like you just think like there's no way, like no, for sure. And then you just can't undo it. And then when the things are on paper, it's like this starts like the grieving process all over. Because like I told my counselor the other day, it's not just that you have to get an answer to a question. You get an answer to a question, and then if the answer is yes or what you thought it was, you have to process the fact that it is a yes, because it's not, there's no win in this. I've said this whole time. There's no win in this at all. But it's so gross that you have to like question it for so long and figure out how to process through that trauma. And then figure out the answer, which solving the question or proving it yourself is a whole other trauma to deal with. But then when you find out that it is that, like you knew it was, you thought it was, you proved it was, and now you can't undo it. You're just like, you have to process all of that all over again, because there's no win. I've said that 1,000 times in this. There's literally no win at all. I don't feel good when I get oh my God, I knew it. honestly, sometimes so many people say, man, Becca, that's crazy. Like, I know you said it, but man, it's just crazy now to see it, in real life and blah, blah, blah. And you're just like, I've been sitting over here on this bench for a long time. Like, welcome to the show. But at the same time, like, I've recorded this and said it wrong like 5 times. Okay. So I'm not saying that. It's funny because the first time you do it, you're like so passionate and try to prove your points. And by the 5th time of you like saying the wrong thing and having to stop, you're just like, oh, get it out. Okay. So I'm not saying I don't have a choice. I do have a choice. I cannot do this. And that's the goal. If I don't if I don't come here, I don't work, I don't talk a little bit about clothes and a lot about my personal life, like I always have, then I don't make an income. And if I don't make an income, I can't fight back. And if I can't fight back, then what? Like, so there you go. So I feel like I'm on the upswing now. Like I got at least my belly on the paddleboard so far. So that's really helpful. But at the same time, like, I know it's so helpful to the amount of women who have literally DM'd me and said they are going through something similar. It is absolutely disgusting. I cannot believe it saddens my heart that so many other people are dealing with this too. But also, like, this behavior is not okay. So lucky for them, for a long time, I was like, all right, I'll just shut up and I'll be poor. And then I realized I don't like that. I don't like being bored and poor. And that's what you are when you don't work. And it sucks because honestly, there are some days where I was like, I cannot get out of bed. Oh my God. Like, what is wrong with me? Like, I have to just be the brave girl and blah, blah. Like, I don't want to be the damn brave girl all the time. I want to be the girl that just gets to take a nap. So now I feel like I'm learning. It's not even like learning to accept it. You're learning to accept the fact that you do not need answers to all of your questions, because the answers I need questions to are feeling-based questions, and the answers that everyone else needs questions to so that I can be vindicated in all this are answers that are right there on the paper. So, I don't know. I guess it took like people actually, the right people, because everybody always believed me, but the right people believing me and finally doing something about it. I guess the message in all this madness is, if I told you my advice, which I feel like I am not the person you should be seeking any kind of advice from right now, is because, like, I can tell you what to do, but I can also tell you I'm barely doing it. Like, I'm doggy paddling, I'm not swimming, but I'm also not drowning. I am getting water stuck up my nose a lot, but I am not yet drowning. Thank God. We're just going to call it chlorine and not salt water, because I probably would have been dead by now. But I would tell you that I have to think a lot about what I say now, and that sucks so freaking bad because I used to just be able to speak freely, but I get it. I'll play by these rules. The advice that I would give you is get some kind of support system. For me, I needed not my friends, not you guys, not anybody I knew to trust and believe what I was saying was true. They did right away. Everybody did, because it was like I said earlier, if there's an alternative to anything I've said, let's talk about it. Let's have a dialogue. But my advice would be to find some sort of support, whether it's 1 person, 5 people, 6 people, whoever you need it to be. A counselor that you can talk to, the police if you need to go that route with whatever your situation is. Find someone that is the right person to give you that support so that you feel like you can keep hanging on. Because like I said, there were days where I was just like, it's so frustrating. Like, I don't know, you just feel like it's such a different show over there. Like, that is not freaking reality. Well, I am not crazy because I lived the experience. So when you tell me something happened that physically didn't happen, like, that's not okay. That's just not right to do. And so document everything, find support, document everything, and always go find the paper trail. People told me that from the very beginning and I didn't listen. And if I would have done that from the very beginning, I would not be here right now. I promise you. Swear to God, I'm going to shut up, but I have to tell you this. In my defense and yours, because so many of y'all said the same thing. The only reason I didn't go directly to the paper trail from the beginning was because, number 1, you want to believe what you're being told, number 1. Number 2, if you don't believe what you're being told, you're told you're crazy. And so you really do start to think like, normal, like, that did not happen, that is not how it happened, or this didn't line up with this. So when you go for that paper trail right away, you get out of your thoughts and it's on paper. You can't dispute things that are literally on paper. So, and I'll be honest with you, a lot of it is you don't want to know. I know it sucks to say that, but I can admit it. Like, I made a reel the other day. I don't think I posted on Instagram. I think it's on Facebook. And in it, she says I didn't want to feel like or be perceived as, not that I know a ton of y'all are going to come back to me and say, I didn't really want to know, Becca. None of us do. And that's the basis. You're not going directly to the paper trail out of fear. But that fear is what keeps you wanting to lay in your bed all day or wanting to be sad or keeps you asking 1,000 questions. And it's so hard to get out of it. Trust me. Oh my God. I think it took me like 2 years. I still am definitely not. My Netflix just went off. So hold on. I don't know if y'all can see me. Definitely gonna run out of stories. This got so long so quick. Oh my gosh. Okay. You get the gist of what I'm saying. I know you guys are going to say like, well, I didn't want to believe it because I love that person. Or honestly, I didn't want to believe it because if I believed it and it was true, my whole freaking life was going to change. And I'm not about to get emotional because I'm about to go to sleep. But that's the part that like digs at like, if it is true, like your whole life is going to change and not in a good way. And like nobody wants to walk into a car crash, No, I am not sad. It just like makes your throat feel all weird, Anyways, it is what it is. We're past that. I'm okay. I mean, honestly, we're like barely past that. We're like sliding into the yield lane past that. But, oh well, progress is progress, damn it. It's a long freaking road. January 2nd will be a year since I'm physically moved out of the bar. iPhone today, like looking at the months that have gone by, like since all this started in 2020. And I'm just like, and honestly, even before then, but that's another one of my little golden chips. But you're just like, fuck, But honestly, you got to look at it like, not like, oh my God, look how much I've been through in this last 2 years. You got to look how much I got through. Like you go through it, and the only way you go through it is to keep on going. Swimming, doggy paddling, whatever you got to do. So that's my advice. Just keep swimming. I know it sounds crazy, and it's like a Finding Nemo quote. My nose is all red now, damn it. But that's what it is. Document everything. Have a paper trail. Always put it in writing. And honestly, I would tell you to still follow your heart because that's just the best thing to do. Listen to your gut, but still, actually don't listen to your heart at all. Just follow your gut. She ain't got no feelings. I just looked at how many story bubbles I have. That's the old Beck up there. With 100 stories. Sometimes I'll have like no stories in the day at all, and it's safe to assume that if I'm not filming, it's because there's some shit happening. And it sucks that it's like that. But I mean, like when you spend 11 years, like talking to your friends on your phone, like FaceTiming your friends, that's what I've always called this. Like, y'all know, people will literally text me and be like, you okay, girl? Like, yeah, just another walk in the park day over here, no big deal. So just know you can't get through it. Listen, if me and Britney Spears can get through 2007 and 2020 to 22, you can get through anything too. I promise you. You just got to get out of your own head and think with your gut. And that is so hard to do. And people say like it's so easy. They're like, you have to treat this like a business transaction. And I'm like, no, because I probably would have given him a break there too. Oh, God. It's hard. But for the record, because apparently this is the record, not one time in my 11-year career of doing this have I ever intentionally tried to be ugly to somebody or try to be hateful to somebody or lied about them on the internet, especially on purpose. Gosh, that's the worst part too. Like, especially I would not just make this up. But also, I've always known that I either lived the experience or had the proof on paper. So it was like, why would I not share what's happening in my normal life? It wasn't like trying to tell my side. It was sharing my everyday experience, which is still happening right now, every single day, literally today. Like, and it just doesn't stop. And I now need to realize that like, I don't need to worry when it's going to stop. I just need to understand that it's going to, and understand that it will be taken care of. And I don't know. I know it's weird, but I really do believe that. And I know most of y'all are going to write me and say, Becca, we believe you. This is not about that subject. I've never questioned that subject. Not that I don't care. I definitely care. But not to the extent of it's going to change the experience that I had. Like, either you believe it or you don't. So I've always said, never have I ever intentionally lied about someone on the internet. I would never do that. I never in my life would I do that. I'm not that type of person. But also, never have I ever not shared with you guys the experience I actually lived through. So it's not just like, oh, maybe this, maybe that. Nope. Like, I was there. This is what happened that day. This is what was said. And thank God I finally went to the paper trail. Because like I said, if I wouldn't have, it's crazy because your word isn't always good enough. And that just sucks. But it's helping me realize that, I don't know, honestly, I'm still not that good at realizing people lie. And all that wore me out. So thank you for going my TED Talk. I need my kid to be home or my boyfriend to be here. Like, I'm talking too much on the internet, huh? Shit. But also, at the same time, like, go run, tell that. I hope you do repeat the whole live video. Don't repeat clips of it. Repeat the whole story, not just the part where I'm like, I feel crazy. Like, ugh, I feel crazy when I get off a merry-go-round. I feel crazy when someone... No, I can't even say that because all those things are going to get used against me. This is so disgusting. And then you can't be yourself because you know everything you say